I have a pretty ridiculous hobby. I shoot on film and then scan it back to digital to share online. I think it's because I'm so bad at digital photography, all the stuff with film that can go wrong gives me an excuse when my photos aren't very good. A rite of passage before you're allowed into hipster photography heaven is to shoot medium format 120 film. Now the cameras for that film can be crazy expensive. People online buy them for hundreds and hundreds of pounds, if not thousands. But you can buy really old cameras, I'm talking Betty White old, for very little money. This one, a Thornton Pickard Ruby roll film, yeah, totally cool name, was £13. Here I'm testing the shutter and the aperture. If they don't work, it's no good. The other thing is light leaks. That's why I was shining a torch inside. If you can see light through any gaps inside the camera, it's about as much use as a fly fart in a hurricane. Loading the film is absolutely terrifying. It's akin to diffusing a bomb. That roll of film is got a few wraps of white paper, and under that is the film. If that's exposed to light at all, it's ruined. And the funny mechanism that lifts up there is stopping me from pulling it out and keeping it tight. And that's the key, keeping it tight. If it unspools and unfurls, then light will get in the gaps around the edge, and just the tiniest amount would ruin it. So it was really scary. To test the camera out, I decided to go and shoot a local manor house, and I took the film and the box to keep it in, a notebook and a tripod. This camera will be very shaky if I don't shoot on a tripod, so it really needs to be done that way. Setting the camera up on the tripod was tricky. I had to put it at a funny angle because of the connection point, and the body of the camera was getting in the way. I used my phone to do meter readings because this camera has a very narrow range of shutter speeds, and then I wound the film on to number 1 and I went to the front of the building and started shooting. The viewfinder for this camera is just a glass prism, and the rectangle corresponds to which way up the viewfinder is or the camera. That little glass thing rotates, so you turn it round and you can shoot on its side or vertically. So let's take a look at these first 2 shots. Top marks if you spotted my first mistake. Yes, that wasn't a number 1, it was just a line. So let's wind on and look for the actual number 1. There it is. Right, let's take some photos. Can you guess what my next mistake is? I got chatting to someone between these 2 photos, and I forgot to wind on the camera. Despite all the planning and preparation, I forgot to wind the film on. Not once, I think twice. I think this might be a triple exposure. I can't quite remember. Either way, I need to focus, no more mistakes. Okay, this time I'm making notes, I'm checking each step, I'm not going to make any more mistakes. Let's take another shot. Nope, it again. What happened here was the camera jumped from the 30 metres or 100 foot setting down to the 3 metres or 10 foot setting, so it was out of focus. Right, third photo. Here we go. Okay, we've got a decent photo here. Remember, everything on this camera's manual. It's 100 years old. The fact that we've got a couple of decent shots here that are reasonably in focus and well exposed is something I'm very proud of. Around the corner I spotted a photographer's wet dream. This is a replica of George Stephenson's rocket, one of the first passenger trains ever in the world, and I took this photo. But we do have a big problem. I'd like to tell you that this is residue left over from a cocaine-fueled bender, but unfortunately it's light leaks. This is kryptonite to film. This light coming in will just overexpose the film and you'll end up with a white image if it goes any further. I think I may have cocked up unloading the film or loading the film. At some point during this process or putting it in, I've let it unravel slightly and light leaked in the side and ruined my masterpiece. In future I can stop this happening by putting my hands inside a blackout bag which has like armholes and it light seals, and you do everything inside like a soldier who has to set up his gun blindfolded. So where am I at with this roll of film? Oh yes, by the way, that's it. You only get 8 shots on film this size. Ridiculous, eh? Well, I'm a bit disappointed. The light leaks are disappointing and my mistakes are disappointing. But I did get a couple of shots that were reasonably in focus and had no light leaks. I think the issue is loading and unloading the film. It might be the camera. I could tape up the sides in future, but Bottom line is, I got a couple of shots I'm happy with, I know a bit more about the camera, and I got this cool shot of the train that could have been taken 100 years ago. So hey, I'm calling it a win.